Hi, how are you doing? I'm very excited because today is finally the day we are gonna be listening to Normani's debut album, Dopamine. I can tell you how long I've been waiting for this one. I mean, I probably could, but I'm too lazy to count them in my head. Normani, I used to be like a massive Fifth Harmony stan like back in the day, and Normani is one of my favorites of the band. I have to say Normani and Lauren were always like my favorites. So, and I've really liked Normani's like single releases as well over the years. But she's been promising the album. We finally got the album. And I'm so excited to listen to this. I do have to say I'm listening to this with a little bit of a delay because I was sick when the album came out, so it just, you know, it's been taking me a bit to get better, so I'm in the right headspace to listen to this. But we got 13 songs, 41 minutes, and yeah, I'm so hyped. So let's immediately get started with the first track, which is Big Boy featuring Starrah. Okay, so Big Boy was a really fun start. The album was very like confident and like fun. I don't know, it felt like an anthem in a way, you know? Like definitely like the melody, the vibe of it, everything was really just like strong, and I really liked it. It's not necessarily my kind of song, but I can acknowledge that this is a really great opener to the album, and I'm very excited to continue on. So let's just do that with Still. I really liked that one. It was fun, sexy, a bit lighter than the first track, but still a really fun bop. And yeah, I just had a lot of fun listening to that one. Next up, we have All Yours. All Yours is not a really fun, sexy song. It also feels very catchy, like the I'm doing it terribly, but that part feel like that's gonna get stuck in my head on loop quite a bit in the future. And yeah, it's fun, it's sexy. I really like it. Next up is Lights On. Lights On is probably my favorite on the album so far. I mean, we're only 4 tracks in, so it's not like, you know, that means anything. But I really love this song. I love the vibe of it. It was everything, and then it's very sexy, very confident in its lyrics, and I really like it. It's also a bit tongue-in-cheek at times, and I don't know, I just really like this song. Next up, we have Take My Time. Take My Time is another really fun song. It is a banger. It's definitely a bit more like up-tempo and fun, and I was like dancing around to it a lot. I had a lot of fun with it. The lyrics are more kind of like on the sweeter side, and I don't know, I again really liked it, and I just had a blast listening to it. Next up is Insomnia. Insomnia is such a stunning song. Like, just lyrics wise, it's very emotional, very vulnerable, has a very strong message, but also just production wise and melody wise, everything about it just is so beautiful and like a little bit angelic as well. I don't know, I really love this one. It's stunning. That's all I gotta say. Next up is Candy Paint, which was one of the singles for this album. When I first heard this song, I wasn't too crazy about it, but listening to it in the context of the album, it definitely works better for me. I think it is a very fun, danceable song. It's not one of my favorites of the album so far, but I do like it more kind of recontextualized, if that makes sense. Next up, we have Grip. And Grip is another one I'm not too crazy about. It's more, again, of like a sexier song. But I don't know, just something about it just didn't really grip me. Ironically enough. I don't know. I didn't connect with it as much. Next up is 159 featuring Gunna, which was the first single for this album. So contrary to Candy Paint, I actually liked 159 less. Listening to it now, I originally quite liked it. It's not like a new favorite song, but I did enjoy it while listening to it. I like the vibe of it and everything. But listening to it now in the context of the album, it just feels like one of a dozen. I don't know, I feel like it just blends compared to the rest of the album. It doesn't jump out at all, which I don't know, it's a bit disappointing that this song then was chosen to be like the lead single of the album, you know? But we're just gonna move on with the next song, Distance. Distance was a bit of another dud for me. I'm sorry. I don't know. I didn't really again get into it. And I felt a bit bored by it, a bit underwhelmed, which is a shame because I think the lyrics are very vulnerable, and again, I like kind of like the message of it, but just something about it is just like flying over my head, I guess, because I don't know, it's not doing anything for me. Next up we have Tantrums featuring James Blake. Tantrums got me back on the game. I really like this song. I really love the production on it again. It has like this haunting quality to it that I really like. I also like just it has the lyrics to it have kind of like this vulnerability to it, but also this confidence to it that I really like. And I do think James Blake and Normani sound great together, so there's that as well. And yeah, let's go to the last new song of Dopamine. There's 2 more songs, but the last song of the album we technically have heard before. So next up is Little Secrets. That was Little Secrets, and I again really liked it. So it felt very like grand and a bit cinematic, which I really enjoyed within its production. I also just kind of like the confidence within the lyrics, and it just, I don't know, was a really great song to listen to. So let's round things up with Wild Side featuring Cardi B, which we got a couple of years ago as a single release, and now it's a part of the album. So let's go. So Wild Side is not a song I dislike at all, but it's again one that I've never been like too crazy about. I do like it. It has more kind of like a chill, sexy vibe to it. I really like it, but it's not like something that ever wowed me, I have to say that. So yeah, that brings us to the end of Dopamine. I can't believe I just listened to Normani's debut album. It's done. That's the most surreal part of this all. Like, you know how long we've been waiting for this one. But I really like this album. It's not like a favorite, but I did enjoy it. My top 3 is gonna have to be on number 1, Lights On number 2, Little Secrets, and 3, Insomnia. I think that's my top 3, but I'm not entirely sure about that, but that's kind of what I'm going for right now. So yeah, I liked the album. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think it definitely showed off Normani's vocal range as well. I thought she sounded incredible on it. It's fun, it's very danceable. It also has its more vulnerable moments to it. They're a bit few and far in between, but it does have that emotional touch to it, which I also quite like. It's very confident, very sexy. I just think that this album does get a little bit repetitive, just in kind of like its themes at this point. I don't think some songs just do stuff that other songs are doing, but just do it better or less good. And I just feel like, I don't know, I felt a bit bored. You know, I had that middle section with Grip, 159, and Distance where I was just bored out of my mind, because I feel like those 3 songs brought nothing new to the table. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of these songs are just gonna grow on me with time as well. And maybe, because like I said, the album is a bit repetitive in my opinion, but I do feel like if these are gonna go into like a playlist and gonna shuffle up with other songs, I do feel like there are songs that are gonna catch my attention that this time around didn't, because it might have felt like a bit too similar to another song on the album, if that makes sense. So I'm very excited to put this album in my rotation. And yeah, that's everything I have for you today. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this album, if you listened to it, as well as your top 3, because I always love hearing those. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Here I am again, the same old situation. Why does the God thing have to be so complicated?